District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. If you'll please stand and join me in the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. If you'll remain standing, our prayer this evening will be presented by Deacon Kevin Adair of the First Baptist Church. Welcome.
Thank you again for this opportunity. Let's bow our heads. Father God, we thank you for this day that you've given to us. We thank you for this time together. I thank you, Lord God, for a school board, for a community, for a school district, Lord God, that seeks your guidance. And Father, this evening, as we come together as a community that's dedicated to the education of our children, that, Lord God, you will grant us with your wisdom and with your guidance. And Father, we pray, Lord God, for all the important decisions that need to be made, that, Father, you would just cover this school board in this community, Lord God, with just clarity, with peace. And Father, even during the times that are just some challenging discussions that go about, that may come up, that Father, we can handle those discussions fully, and Lord God, in a way that's peaceful and honoring to you. And Father, we are thankful, and we just ask your blessings for our teachers. We ask your blessings on our administrators, on our school board, and Father, especially to our children, Lord God. That Father, as they look to us for leadership with integrity and with respect for each other. And we pray, Father, that is a way that's handled tonight in a way that's honoring to you. And above all, Father, we seek to bring you the honor and the glory. And it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Well, it's our June meeting, and we have some recognitions for our mentors, our community and business partners, our community partner of the year, and our business partner of the year. Our presenter is Karen Trevino, the Director of Community Relations. Ms. Trevino.
Perez as well to help with the celebration. So thank you, Dr. Lee, President Dillon, and members of the board. I appreciate the opportunity to recognize our community partners. As the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child, and we have 13,000 plus children in our district, and so we're fortunate to have a community of individuals, organizations, and businesses that support us in doing that for our students and also for our staff. I could spend hours speaking to the individual contributions of the people that are being recognized. I'm not going to spend hours. But I do appreciate the opportunity. I'll go ahead and get started with our first group, which is, there we go, which is our mentors. So our mentors are individuals in the community who give time and talents to our students. They spend about 30 minutes to an hour each week visiting with a student or a group of students in order to provide an additional support and encouragement for those kids. And so I know I have some of our mentors here with us in the audience today, and I would just invite you, if you are one of our 2025-2026 mentors, if you could come up, please, and be recognized. And please come up to the front.
Everybody wants to see you. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Josh, Barbara has yours. And Molly, I think Barbara has yours as well. Sure.
Y'all gonna have to squeeze together for that photo now. I feel like you like each other.
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to invite Sergeant Kayla Barner up to recognize our partners that worked with us on the Blue Saints initiative. My clicker's not working.
Sorry, I'm trying to get a little organized. Okay, so our 2025 Blue Saints Toy Drive, we served almost right at 200 children. I know Dr. Lee had come out to Bastrop Middle School, and it was great. I never like to say that it gives me pleasure to see somebody cry, but in that aspect, when you're there, when you're there and seeing parents come up and they just break down and tell you, thank y'all so much for what you do. My kids wouldn't have a Christmas if it weren't for you guys. So, but without the people that we're recognizing tonight, we would not have been able to be this successful. So, Cedar Creek High School Athletics. So we sent an email to everyone that we're going to recognize, but we sent an email to Cedar Creek High School Athletics and thinking, okay, we're going to have a few kids adopted and all the stuff. And when Monica calls and tells me that they have, was it 27? Over 27 children that they took care of, and we're like, okay. We take 2 patrol cars out there, we walk in the gym, this bags of toys, bikes, everywhere. So I get on the phone and I'm calling for support because I'm having to call in more patrol vehicles to come load all this stuff up. So, yeah, over 27 kids that Cedar Creek Athletics did for us. So. Sergeant Barner, you want to be in the picture? Thank you, guys. Bastrop High School Athletics. Guess that's you, coaches. Same thing with Bastrop High School, and they did approximately 18 children. So we had, like, it was football, soccer, tennis, so every sport came together, and we were able to get about 18 adopted and taken care of with Bastrop High School Athletics. TCS Mechanical? No. Okay, they told me they would be here. And the last one, and this organization has helped us, I believe, every year that we've done our toy drive, and that's Bastrop Middle School in JHS. So not only did they come up and help us that day with being our elves and handing out toys and serving cookies, they also help wrap gifts, and I think maybe some of your parents went out and actually bought gifts. So, yeah, they did about 20 families. Thank you.
All right, so next I'd like for us to take a look at our elementary partners of the year. So these businesses and organizations stepped up to support our campuses. You can see they did that through events, stocking teachers' lounges, providing meals and snacks for staff, being part of the campus events, and supporting in many, many different ways. And so we have a list of here. I know several of them are here. If you are one of our elementary partners of the year, shown here, would you please join us at the front? Got my clicker fixed. So next I have our secondary partners of the year. Same thing, you can see that they are consistently out there supporting our schools. And the saying always goes that elementary schools are easy, they're fun, the kids are little. When you get to middle school, not that we don't love middle school and high school kids, but it's a little bit more of a challenge, and so we appreciate these businesses that stepped up to support those students and the staff, because there are some days when they really, really need it. So if you were one of our secondary partners of the year, please come up and join us. At the end of each school year, we ask our administrators at the campus level and also at the district level to nominate businesses or organizations for Community Partner and Business Partner of the Year. And other than those that have already been recognized, we had a few other organizations that were nominated, so I wanted to recognize them as honorable mention for their contributions this year. So we have the Bastrop Evening Lions Club. As you can see here, they were nominated by Tanya Coleman, our district's head nurse. They supported our student health programs with approximately 720 volunteer hours doing hearing and vision screenings. We have Jason Lowe, our HEB pharmacy manager, who provided flu shots to BISD employees on site at all of our campuses. We have Bastrop County Cares. They awarded Bastrop ISD a grant of $50,000 to continue our work on pediatric traumatic brain injury awareness and prevention efforts. And we have Edge Connects. They supported our computer science curriculum in the K through 5 computer lab and middle school technology classes this semester through a pilot program and giving us guaranteed funding for the next 4 years. They also sponsored our STEAM Fest event, which is huge in ensuring that we can continue that event for our students, staff, and community. So I'd like to invite all of those who are here to come up and join us at the front.
Edge Connects was also the top sponsor for the Sportsman's Banquet, and to our food sponsor. And so for about $30,000, they donated to be our food sponsor, which goes to the Education Foundation and goes right back into our classrooms. So.
Thank you, Mr. Meacham. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, next I'd like to invite Dr. Janelle Norris up to present our Bastrop ISD Community Partner of the Year.
Good evening, President Dillon, members of the Bastrop ISD Board of Trustees, esteemed Superintendent Dr. Lee, and honored guests. Tonight it is my privilege to recognize an organization whose work is changing the lives of our students in a way that is both simple and profound. Half Helen. The mission of Half Helen is to ensure that children have access to the vision care they need in order to be successful. Through vision screenings, eye examinations, and the provision of prescription eyeglasses, Half Helen removes a barrier that too often goes undetected. For many children, the difference between struggling and succeeding in school is as simple as being able to clearly see the words on a page, the equations on a board, or the teacher standing at the front of the classroom. The impact of corrected vision extends far beyond academics, too. When children can see clearly, they're more confident participating in class, engaging with their peers, and exploring the world around them. Improved vision supports reading development, attention, and overall academic performance. It also enhances safety, helping students navigate hallways, playgrounds, athletic activities, and everyday environments with greater awareness and confidence. In short, clear vision helps our children learn better, feel better, and stay safer. On behalf of our students, families, and staff, we extend our sincere gratitude to Half Helen for their dedication, generosity, and unwavering commitment to improving the lives of our children. In our first year together, Bastrop ISD referred the highest number of students among the more than 20 districts in the Austin area that Half Helen supports, with 147 of our students receiving glasses at no cost to them during the 25-26 school year. Please join me in congratulating and thanking Half Helen Pediatric Program Coordinator Barb Klepfer as the recipient of our prestigious Bastrop ISD Community Partner Award for this academic year. We look forward to many more years of partnership to help our students see a brighter future in their journey to become the best version of themselves.
And finally, I have the honor of recognizing our our business partner of the year, sorry. So beyond already being up here as a campus partner for 3 campuses this year, this organization has supported our Winter Blast, our Back to School Bash, been part of the Bastrop Education Foundation, been a huge part of the Sportsman's Banquet and everything that organization does. They're part of We Believe in BISD. They've done reading to students. They created and implemented a Banking Buddies program this year and other financial literacy for students. They provided internship opportunities for our high school students and implemented an event this year called Community Connects at Communal Real Elementary, which served several hundred students and their families out at that campus. And so thanks to the leadership of President and CEO Stephen Lee and Vice President Victoria Castaneda and many, many others, I'm proud to present our Business Partner of the Year award to First National Bank of Bastrop. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. As y'all can tell, this is what makes Bastrop such a special place, is all the involvement we have from our community members and our businesses in the school district. Next on our agenda is our mission moment for BISD ACC Pharmacy Lab Accreditation. Our presenter. Oh, yeah. I guess I need to announce that no one signed up for open forum first before we just skip over that. Our mission moment for BISD ACC Pharmacy Lab Accreditation. Our presenter is Nathan Mauser, our PTech coordinator. Welcome, Nathan.
Good evening. Thank y'all for having us and recognizing our PTech Pharmacy Lab, our PTech program, our Pharmacy Technician program. We're here to highlight all the great things that are happening. Our PTech program is still young, and we just graduated our first class of students. I just killed the presentation. There we go. All right. So we just graduated our first cohort of students. We had 10 seniors this year. 7 of our students were able to earn their ACC Level 1 certificate in pharmacy technician. Those 7 students then in their spring semester worked in local pharmacies where they earned 128 hours in the pharmacy working with clients in the retail setting. They had to earn those hours in order to take their PTCB exam. The PTCB exam, which is a Pharmacy Technician Certification Board exam, is recognized in all 50 states, and 5 of our students passed it on their first attempt, which is a huge success. If you look at the national average, Bastrop ISD students beat the national average, and we beat the average for Central Texas high school students. So our graduates are graduating from the program with industry experience and the immediate workforce, and they're ready to go out and get a career. A lot of our businesses were really excited with what our students were doing, and just seeing the students in the workforce from the classroom was night and day. They were so excited to finally get to put into practice what they've been learning. Our courses are very rigorous. It is a workforce dual credit, but the courses are tough. Our students are learning how to be college students in this program, and that's wonderful to see. We wouldn't be as successful without our PTech specialist, Michelle Sherman, with all of her wraparound supports, our leadership with Raina Ellis, our CCMR director, so we're really set. But most importantly, we wouldn't be as successful without the great students we have. So when I first started in this role, they were like, all right, Nathan, you're gonna create a pharmacy lab. So that was my task, and there was also tasks with other people. So that was exciting and really fun to build out. And our pharmacy lab is at the Circuit campus. We got 3 classrooms. In there's a classroom, then one of the rooms is the institutional lab, and the institutional lab students are learning all the skills they need to be able to work in a hospital setting. And the last classroom is our community lab, and the students are learning everything they need to in a retail setting. One thing, going back to the PTCB exam, it's recognized in all 50 states, which is really awesome. So our students, once they pass that, they can go work in a retail or hospital setting in any state in the country. Here is a picture of our first graduating class. This is at ACC at their pinning ceremony. So that was the highlight and pinnacle. These students are truly the trailblazers for our program. So big shoes to fill, but I know our students are going to rise to the challenge. Why we're here though today, and thank you again for highlighting our program as the mission moment, is the accreditation that our pharmacy lab received. Go backwards. So we are accredited. We are a duly accredited pharmacy. We have if you see that logo, the ASHP is American Society of Health System Pharmacies, and then the ACPE is the Accredited Council for Pharmacy Education. In these pictures, you can see a glimpse of our pharmacy lab where the students are working. With this accreditation, again, we're duly accredited through ACC. We are a satellite campus. So our students do not have to go to ACC. The professors come to our lab. Our lab has everything they would see at a college campus, so it's considered, that's why we get that accreditation. Our students are learning within the national recognized program, and again, this is a very rigorous program. At this time, I'm going to invite 2 of our students to come talk about the program, Delilah and Viviana. Our first student is Delilah.
Hi, I'm Delilah Lopez. I'm an upcoming senior in this program, and my favorite course that I've taken so far has to be the drug classification. We learn more than 200 different kinds of drugs and their different indications and uses in the pharmacy. And what I'm most looking forward to in this program is to see all the different things we learned these past couple years come together in the clinical setting.
And then, thank you, Delilah. And then Viviana.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Viviana Robles, and I am a junior in the program. So far, my favorite course has been medical terminology, which was the first course I took in the program. And I would say this is my favorite course because it gave me a really good introduction into what pharmacy really is. And I'm most looking forward to receiving my certification and being able to actually work in the lab this year. Thank you.
Thank you both. Again, thank you for highlighting our program. We are excited. We're going to be having a grand opening sometime at the beginning of the school year, so we'd love to have y'all and have y'all out to see all the great things we've done. Thank y'all again. Y'all have any questions?
With the pharmacy, I'm assuming there's a lot of science involved, a lot of chemistry involved.
Yeah, and drug classification, we got to see the different components in each type of drug and how they work in the body. So yeah, we definitely saw different formulas in that.
And it's really awesome and nice to see young women who are not afraid of getting into the, a science field, a chemistry field, that y'all are going to be breaking some ceilings there, and that's awesome. Wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Question, how many high schools have an accredited pharmacy tech lab?
So, from what we're told that we are either the first or maybe the second one in the state of Texas.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is a public hearing on a proposed application for an optional flexible school day program for the 26-27 school year. We have the optional flexible school day program report for 26-27 and consider approval to submit application for an optional flexible school day program for eligible students for the 26-27 program. This is a public hearing, so if the end of the presentation, if there's anybody in the audience that has a question, we'd ask that you please approach the podium and use the microphone so that everyone can hear you. Our presenter tonight is Raina Ellis, Director of College Career and Military Readiness.
Good evening, Dr. Lee, President Dillon, and Board of Trustees. As he said, tonight we have to have a public hearing to go through our optional flexible school day program, which is our Genesis campus. The goal of this campus is to improve graduation rates for students who are at risk. So we have to prepare an annual application to TEA every year, and part of that is holding this public hearing. So to be eligible, they're listed there in the bullet lines. Our students meet two of the criteria typically, those who are at risk of dropping out of school and those students who have been denied credit either due to failing courses or attendance. To be eligible, they also must have parent approval if they're 18 or younger. They may sign for themselves if they're 18, but we highly encourage parents to come with them to their intake. So to be identified as a student who may need to attend Genesis, our counselors review graduation plans, credits, attendance. We view their STAR assessment data. We meet with those students then, and a counselor and administrator sit down with the student and the parent to discuss the options that they have, the flexibility that Genesis will offer them. Again, we've got to have that parent permission for those under 18. Once they are approved and signed off by the designated administrator, they are then given an appointment at Genesis High School where they are given an intake conference. This is a very detailed conference that the administrators at Genesis sit through with the student and the parent to review everything that they still need for graduation requirements. So as you see, our numbers continue to rise. We enrolled a total of 325 students this year. With tomorrow's graduation ceremony, we will have graduated 261 students that may not have otherwise graduated. So that's huge. Credits earned there, those continue to rise every year as well. And then withdrawn and number transferred, those are our students who have left and we've been able to track. The number returning, we do have 36 of those students who enrolled, and they will be returning with us in the fall. Genesis operates Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4. They have the same amount of teachers. They share a counselor, a nurse, a principal, and an assistant principal with our Circa campus. And these students do receive the special education, English language support, counseling, especially the college and career planning, and then pregnancy-related services if needed. So our agreement, we agree that we will administer the assessments, such as the STAR test. We ensure that all instructional materials and facilities are comparable to those of other campuses. We ensure that students participating will not be isolated from other academic programs, definitely to include access to school counselors for pre and post counseling for academic and personal, as well as career counseling. And then we will provide faculty and administrators who are well qualified, certified teachers. We also agree to adopt a policy that does not penalize those students with that 90% rule for attendance. We agree to adopt a policy to require students to attend regularly, and if not, they do go through the truancy program. We track the number of minutes that these students attend each day. Our teachers there are very diligent about tracking those numbers. And then we have to comply with all reporting requirements. We do not discriminate, and we have to prohibit students if they are not qualified to be in UIL unless they meet those eligibility requirements. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions from the board?
Yeah, I just have one question. Is there any changes from this year's application to last? Any more requirements by the state that are made that we had to?
There's
attend
no
to?
additional, they've changed the application, the look of it a little bit, but after we have this public hearing, we then go back with our PEMS director to sit and fulfill the application to TEA.
Thank you.
I've got your, I was gonna say, it was a flexible school day program. Can you explain what do you mean by flexible? Because you're there Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. What's the flexibility offered?
Students have to attend at least 45 minutes a day. We typically have a morning group and an afternoon group. They come in until their graduation requirements are completed. So if they work, which many of our students do, they will attend a morning or an afternoon session, and the minutes are accounted for in our student information system. And so that's how we can ensure that the students are meeting that time.
Hours of operation.
8:30 to 4.
Got it.
Yes.
Anyone, any other board members have?
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to thank Mr. Conradi and Raina and all of the staff that work with the Genesis students. I am so impressed with Genesis students. Many of them are in the workforce, as you said, Raina, and I have relationships with a lot of those students. They are working tremendously hard in the workforce, so I just wanted to make that public comment. Thank you very, very much.
This is a public hearing. Does any member of the public have any questions for Ms. Ellis? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move to approve the request to submit an application for the Optional Flexible School Day Program, OFSDP, for the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Every board member, please vote by raising your right hand to approve. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on our agenda is our public hearing for our 2026-2027 budget. We consider the adoption of the 2026-27 budget for general, debt service, and food service. Our presenter is Mike White, our Chief Financial Officer.
Thank you, Mr. President. All right. So as stated, we are focusing on actual budget adoption. We've been working on this, seems like a number of years now. I'm glad that we're finally here. actually since January. So here we are with the culmination of that to meet the legal requirement to have a budget adoption by June 30th. Much of what you're going to see tonight is pretty short and sweet. We've covered it several times in a row. Like I said, in the last couple of months, our proposal for May wasn't going to change between May and June. So what you're seeing in coming slides is the same budget that you've seen previously for all three funds. One update I thought may be pertinent, you might have been following along. I know I've tried to provide timely updates on vouchers and the rollout of that program. After a period of deadlines, it appears that the Tier 1 applications, so that first group of kiddos that are those with a disability that their household income is less than 500% of poverty level. So if 100% of poverty level for family of four is 33,000, you're talking about student with a disability family income of less than 165, right? So those applications were, they could meet that group, and they got into Tier 2. I don't think they got all the way through the Tier 2 applications before they ran out of funding. But those are kids with a household income of less than 200% of federal poverty levels. So that is, it's been a popular program, a lot of applications, and interesting to note that some data released on the latest fact sheet has these two data points. 57% of the recipients discussed above, in 24-25, they were in private or homeschool environments. So close to 2/3. Moving forward, for next year, the applicants that are going to get voucher for the first time, 68% of those recipients will use funds for private schools. So again, not quite the hallelujah for public ed or public education parents. This is a lot of funds to be used for private schools from non-public ed students for the most part. So going to continue to watch that. The latest data has us at 200 of those kids assigned to Bastrop ISD. That doesn't mean they're in our schools or ever were in our schools. Just means they're in BISD boundaries, right? So unfortunately, the level of data that's been released hasn't been as robust as you'd like. I'd love to know if how many of those kids are currently in our schools or ever been in our schools, those kind of things. But hopefully that will be released and gathered and released to help us get additional insight. So moving forward, the next few slides are what you've seen before, but like you, I've slept since then, so we're going to run through it real quick. Our priorities for this year's budget are stated in bold. Safety and security, always a top priority. Special education, the full transition to 4 middle school models. Operational support, as we've added these campuses and grown our footprint with the 21 and 23 bond programs, added some operational support there, as well as our in-house child nutrition program. Academic achievement, addressing some needs there. And as always, one of the board's biggest priorities is compensation for staff and trying to be as competitive as possible in the market. So what you'll see presented up for adoption tonight with our 26-27 budget is based on these cornerstones, if you will. So since you've seen that before, I'll move forward. This is the general fund budget in the same presentation, same bottom line we discussed. Really coming up at our budget worksheet in April, but firming up in May. So that use of fund balance, which would still leave us with over 4.1 months of operating expenditures and reserves. So this is the general fund budget. Stop me at any time. Child nutrition budget, this will be year 2 of our in-house operation. So a little bit more refined, a little bit tighter, both on the revenue expenditure side. This includes the same pay increases, a few staff members mentioned before, and we're very optimistic that we'll have a break-even operation for 26-27 food service. Last but not least, our debt service fund. This is basically paying the mortgage on our schools. The paying the debt as we've sold bonds to build schools for our 13,500 kids. This is how we pay the annual debt service. We have strong value growth the last couple of years. That looks to be the case again. We haven't set the tax rate, but if going by April values, so far strong. So that's not a concern. We'll be coming back to you in August with tax rate, information. Proposing a tax rate in August and then adoption in September, barring any changes to that timeline that we'll discuss. So from that point on, this is what the rest of the budget and tax rate calendar looks like. We are really, we have the budget finish line, and just the tax rate left to go. So I'll stop there and leave it up to any questions you guys might have.
Does the board have any questions?
I do. We were talking about there would be a 2% pay increase. Now, that's for all teachers regardless of the, because I remember one of the slides that had between 10 and 19, we were going to give them additional funds.
Yes.
But we're giving the 2% raise regardless of the experience of the teacher, be it 20-year teacher, 25-year teacher. We're just.
Yeah, I think it would be better summarized as 2% or more. I think that the reason we brought up, I think going back to the budget workshop, those that are going into steps 10 through 20, right, the current 9 through 19, is that's kind of where we've been less competitive. I think starting pay is pretty good. 0 to 10 or 0 to 9 has been more competitive. But based on the feedback we've received and our analysis, it's in those middle years where we're not as competitive. And of course, like we mentioned then, it's not something it's not a gap we can close in 1 year. So one of the items we put some funding to make progress. So every teacher gets the 2% of midpoint minimum, right? They all shift up that amount, but some in that situation would get a little bit more. So yes, it's across the board.
So there were 4 additional things. There was the safety, security, what you just addressed, when the other 2 were?
I think another priority was increasing our minimum pay to the $15 an hour threshold.
Mike, was that on the first, there you go.
Yeah, I think we had the safety and security, was it special education? Do you remember what?
Well, and then the increase with the teachers over between.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the life skills and behavior.
Those are the 3, what we called menu items, the a la carte, that the board reviewed and approved. And approved safety and security with some changes, I think, but the rest have been in the May proposal and are up for adoption tonight, included in this draft. So some of this will also be kind of, you're going to hear some of it a little deeper the next presentation with the compensation plan. So I just wanted to kind of give a high level. I know I've hit you with these same things for months in a row, so I didn't want to be repetitive, but it includes all that and everything we've talked about above.
Any other board member have any questions for Mr. White? This is a public hearing. Does any member of the public have any questions about the budget, the process for Mr. White? No one's rushing up here, so I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move to approve and adopt the 2026-2027 budget for general debt services and food service as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 26-27 budget. Will all the school board members in favor please vote by raising your right hand? Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. White. Thank you. Appreciate all your hard work on getting that done. Next, we'll consider approval of the 26-27 compensation plan. Our presenter is Diana Green, our Chief Human Resources Officer.
All righty, thank you for having me, Mr. President, Trustees, Superintendent Lee, and for the opportunity to discuss the 26-27 compensation plan. We appreciate your patience and the opportunity to work through this budget development. As Mike mentioned, we've been doing this since January of 2020-ish. I'm kidding. It does feel like that. We really do start in January, have multiple meetings, but just we appreciate your continued commitment to supporting our employees while balancing the district's financial responsibilities. Okay, so the proposed 26-27 compensation plan reflects the district's commitment to attracting, retaining, and supporting high-quality employees while remaining fiscally responsible. The plan includes a 2% increase from the midpoint for all eligible staff, resulting in compensation increases across all employee groups. So certified teachers, as you'll see up there, their 2% of midpoint would be the $1,262. There are a couple of exceptions. So our 0-year teachers, the majority come in with a starting rate of $58,000, which is an increase of $250 over last year's posted new hire compensation plan. Let's see. There is one exception that you'll see on there. Your teachers from 4-year to 5-year, because of House Bill 2, will get a larger increase, but that's the required $5,000. So that's the difference of what they would have received in year 3 or 4 going into year 5. Again, consistent with House Bill 2. And then our District of Innovation and Paraplus teachers will remain on their current scale. They move up as they meet eligibility requirements. So if they get more credit hours, once they're in an ACP, there's different steps for them. In addition to the district-wide increases, there's several, I can't read all of a sudden, strategic compensation improvements. And then the additional increase for teachers, again, this year's 9 through 19, next year's 10 through 20 will get an additional increase to help address that salary compression. As we raise starting teacher pay over the years, we compressed that middle group. And then the minimum hourly rate for paraprofessionals will increase to $15 an hour. And then we bumped our life skills and behavior paraprofessionals up a pay box. In addition, and it did not change pay at all, but we moved our police department into its own pay scale. So we essentially took what they were making and moved them into their own pay scale. And then there is a requirement for a differentiated starting salary. Our not fully certified teachers are unable to make the exact starting rate as a certified teacher on a standard. So there's a slight differential there. Other than that, we've kind of discussed everything. Are there any questions for me tonight?
Any member of the board have any questions for Ms. Green?
One about the stipends. I know in the past, we've had to, increase certain stipends for hard-to-find place jobs, that sort of thing. Do we have to increase, or did we increase any of those this year?
We have not increased stipends. We're doing some cleaning up of names and making sure they match, but we've not increased our stipends this year. That wasn't something that we proposed.
On the law officers, on the police officers' pay scale, is that, how do we determine their pay? Is that based on law officer? I mean, they're not teachers. Correct. So how do we compare to cities, counties, state type of compensation?
Chief keeps us in the loop with that, but we do look at market. And essentially what I did with this was just what they were already making. They were in the upper paraprofessional boxes. And so I just shifted that over into their own. And that way, when there's conversation about a proposed increase, it's easier for that group to be in their own box. And so we're talking about just police officers and not, when you're in the same box with paraprofessionals and clerical, it's a little bit more difficult to have the raise conversation when it includes that many different groups of employees.
Are we competitive? Okay. Okay. And Mike, I'd like to make a public comment. I know per state regs, we are required to have officers such as that, and I know our budget is 3.2. What does the state, what part of that does the state fund? Yeah. So even though the state gave us a priority, and I agree, safety is our concern for the students, the state has come down and mandated that, but yet they're not even coming half of that to fund. Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Any other questions from the board?
Diana, just one quick one. Was there an increase to para pluses? So you said across the board, but so that we did something special for paras specifically, but not
Not Pair
pluses?
Pluses is a set rate, and what we've done is we're using that as a grow your own model. And so the majority of those are individuals who are in school but not quite ready to be hired as teachers. And so as soon as they get to the next threshold, they'll get a raise associated with that. Okay.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 2026-2027 compensation plan as presented.
Second?
It's been moved and second to approve the 26-27 compensation plan as presented. All in favor, please raise your right hand.
Mr. President, I, Ashley Mucci, need to abstain from this vote for the sole purpose of my spouse is employed with the district.
6 yeses and 1 abstention.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Next, we'll move into our superintendent's report. Dr. Lee.
Yes, thank you very much. We have had a fantastic start to the month of June. Perhaps the first few days of the month gave some of our community members heartburn as the historic Mina Elementary along Farm Street came crashing down in preparation for the new building that is already there, that beautiful new school. But countless grandparents and parents in our community showed up, took pictures, reminisced about when they walked the halls of that old school from the 1950s. And in its place, at some point soon, will be beautiful green space, playground equipment, a walking track for our kids. And so we're super excited about that, but we know that that's a difficult moment for community members who are remembering their glory days when they were in elementary school. We did salvage a couple of pallets worth of bricks, and so we don't know yet what we're going to do with them as a memorial, but to commemorate that historic school. But we did salvage some bricks to do something with, and we'll invite the community in to help us figure out what that's going to be. Also, the first week of June, Bastrop ISD co-hosted with Smithville ISD a reunification training and exercise so that in the event of some type of crisis or critical incident, we have had training necessary to help us successfully reunify kids with their parents and families. So I appreciate everything that our Safety and Security Director, Ethan Schindler, did. I appreciate the Smithville ISD Superintendent, Dr. Ely, and her staff, and all of the cooperation from that day. And we'll be doing, more of that, obviously. It's not a one-and-done thing ever. Last week, we held the first 2 days of our 3-day Leadership Academy. We brought together district and campus leaders from everywhere. On day one, we sort of took a look at what it means to lead with purpose and intentionality. Then our team held training sessions on topics such as foundational literacy, the launch of our virtual school, and updates on college, career, and military readiness. Day 3 will actually be Monday of this next week, and it will be an exciting, it's only exciting for education people, I realize, but it will be an exciting dive into the data that we are receiving from the state, that we have started receiving. So we'll look at measuring our students' progress and our own progress. So I am optimistic about that, and I hope that you, board members, are feeling optimistic as well. I want to congratulate Chief Bunch and the BISD Police Department on their audit from the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. It was a bit of a surprise audit. Chief wasn't expecting it when he got the call. And our team did an outstanding job in cooperating with that investigator. I am excited to announce that they earned a perfect score on their audit, so congratulations to our police department. Some important upcoming events. First of all, I want to remind our community that children 18 and under, you don't have to be a BISD student, but eat free breakfast and free lunch at our 5 feeding sites this summer, and you can find those on our website. We will have a groundbreaking for elementary school number 10, which is already underway. That will be July the 28th at 9 a.m. in the morning. That is also the date of our back-to-school bash at Cedar Creek High School. I know it's summertime and we don't want to talk about going back to school yet, but I just wanted to give some advance notice. Thank our board and our team for an outstanding 25-26 school year. We are gearing up for an even better 26-27 and look forward to partnering with our families, with our students, our staff, our school board, and our business leaders and community leaders that you saw here tonight. So at this time, I would like to turn it over to Mr. Dillon. I believe you have some remarks to make.
Yes, Dr. Lee. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to recognize and congratulate Noli on her retirement. So while many people see the superintendent and the board at the meetings and events, what they often do not see is the person behind the scenes who keeps everything organized, on schedule, and running smoothly. For years, Noli has been that steady hand and trusted professional for our district. She has served with grace, patience, and a genuine commitment to Bastrop ISD, helping countless trustees, administrators, staff members, and community members along the way. Her attention to detail, institutional knowledge, and willingness to help have made a lasting impact on our district. Retirement is a well-earned reward for a career dedicated to service. While we will certainly miss her presence, we are excited for the opportunities, adventures, and time with family and friends that lie ahead. Please join me in thanking Noli for her years of faithful service and in wishing her a health, happiness, and many blessings in retirement. Congratulations, and thank you for everything you've done.
Noli, I told you that Kathy and I would not do anything. And we didn't. This is all from the board, and I can't control the board. They're my 7 bosses. So.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is our business services report. with the Potential Dispatchable Power Plant Project and Chapter 403 JETI, Jobs, Energy, Technology, and Innovation. Our presenter tonight is Matt Tomberlin of Whole Street Energy and Sam Gregson, a senior consultant with Cummings Westlake.
I'm sorry that you have to follow that.
Dr. Lee, President Dillon, members of the board, we are delighted to be here tonight. Really appreciate the opportunity to come and bring you all up to speed on a potential and planned project, power generation project for the district, and the JEDI application, the process, the program that's attached to that. I'm Sam Gregson. I'm with Cummings Westlake. Matt is with me. Matt's going to give you kind of a high-level overview of the project, and then I'll follow that with kind of a high-level overview of what JEDI is, how it got here, how it impacts this project in the district. So,
great to meet you all. My name's Matt Tomberlin. I am. Oh, do we have my slides up? No. Okay, that's fine. I can just give an overview.
I thought I sent the PowerPoint to you.
Of the talking points.
No, I sent the email to you with the PowerPoint. When you said the slide, my email was timely. I thought you got that. Oh, I'm sorry.
I printed one copy if you want it. That then got folded in my backpack. But I'll go ahead and give a quick overview. So my name is Matt Tomberlin. I'm VP of Development at Whole Street. Sean Riley is with me. He's the Senior VP of Asset Management. We're with Whole Street Energy and our subsidiary Milepost Power. What we're talking about today is an expansion of our existing power plant in Bastrop. So we have a 600 megawatt combined cycle plant. This potential expansion is an 1100 megawatt peaking plant. These are 6 units, natural gas units. They're known as peakers, which is really supposed to meet the peak demand. So these are units that start up very fast, ramp up and down very quickly, and can turn back off very quickly. The general timeline for that would be this would come online potentially in 2028, with construction starting this year. We have our grid connection agreement with LCRA, and in addition to the power plant, there's a 30-mile, 30-inch pipeline attached to that. In that handout, and we'll make sure that PDF comes to y'all so y'all can take a look, but there's a map of that pipeline. It starts in Lee County, it interconnects to Whitewater's Matterhorn and Eiger lines, and then comes through Lee County down into Bastrop County, and terminates at our power plant. So happy to answer any questions that y'all have. Sean's here as well. And with that, I can let Mr. Gregson take over or take
And just for your information, we did receive those PDFs in our board packet. We just don't have the slides.
Okay, good to hear.
Okay. I was hopeful that you all got this. I'm sorry about that. So a little bit about the JEDI application. I don't know if you all are familiar with the process. Texas economic development, the state has had several processes and programs in place. 312 was originally what the state used for economic incentives, and it provided an avenue for counties, cities, schools, any taxing entity to provide a tax abatement. That was good and through 2021. At the end of 2021, they changed 312 and took away the ability for school districts to do that. In 2002, the legislature created Chapter 313, which was a value limitation program that ran for 20 years until the end of 2022, and it sunsetted in 2022. That was followed by, in the 2023 legislature, House Bill 5 created Section T to Section 403 of the code, which is the JEDI, Jobs, Energy, Technology, Innovation Act, hence the JEDI acronym. What that does is it creates or allows for a value limitation for maintenance and operation taxes. Does not impact INS taxes. So value of the proposed project or the improvement is value limited for a 10-year period. Depending on whether the project is in or not in a federal opportunity zone is a determining factor. It will either be limited at 25% of the value of the project if it's in a federal opportunity zone, 50% if it's not. In the case of this project, it is not in a federal opportunity zone, so it would be limited to 50% of the value, the taxable value of the project for a 10-year period. As I said, it does not impact INS taxes at all. Some of the things you have to meet certain investment requirements, job creation, and wage thresholds. In this particular instance, there's a $20 million investment threshold. This project will far exceed that. The average wage required to be paid is slightly in excess of $137,000. What the JEDI program does, it allows for an agreement to be reached between the company and the state, which does allow for the limitation of the M&O tax for the 10-year period. As I said before, this project does qualify for the 50%. It differs from the 313 program in that the 313 program, the first step would have been to bring an application to the school district. That is not the process in JEDI. JEDI now, the application is made directly to the state. The comptroller's office reviews it. Once they look at it, then they will let the school district know that an application has been submitted, which is kind of a surprise and a little twist in the way things are done. The process will go, the application has been submitted, it's under review right now. If the controller's office finds that it meets all the criteria that are necessary, they will certify the application. They will notify the district that the application has been certified on their end. At that point, they will ask the school district to take an affirmative action to approve the application. That would be the first formal action that this board would need to take relative to that. Where we are in the process now, we've submitted the application. The controller's office has sent a couple of requests back for additional information and some questions. We're probably 45 days out minimum before this board would have to look at any official action on that. Why did the company apply for this, and what is the need for this? So this project is proposed for location in Bastrop. It's also being, the capital for this project is also being looked at for sites in Illinois and Georgia. So it's a competitive process, citing and the JEDI application, and a favorable agreement would be, necessary to keep the Bastrop site in the running to get this project over the line. So it's about $330 million in taxable value when constructed is what we're estimating. The M&O tax generated during the 10-year value limitation period, we're estimating about $8.9 million. The M&O tax generated over the 30-year project life, around $26.8 million. INS, the tax generated during the 10-year limitation is $10.8 million, and the INS tax generated over the 30-year project life is around $22.3 million. That makes some assumptions that there are no changes in tax rates. I mean, my crystal ball only goes so far, so that's pretty much in a nutshell where we are and what we've done with the program. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you might have about the program, the project, or how it'll impact the district.
Sam, would you remind me, please, after the state notifies the district that the application has been certified, what's the deadline that the district have? What's the time frame that they have, that we would have?
So you have 30 days
30
to
days.
get an agreement signed, and then there's a 30-day, you have to notice it 30 days in advance. So once you get that, there's a 30-day window. It'll all depend on kind of timing on when your school board meetings are, so.
There's no jobs here. what types of jobs? It says jobs, energy, technology, and innovation. Is that jobs for Bastrop County?
Jobs at the site, so you're required to create a certain number of jobs at the site. Now, interestingly enough, for Bastrop County, county this size, it's required, the job would be required to create 10 jobs. However, the legislature did give dispatchable power projects a waiver on that, so there is no job requirement for dispatchable power. That said, any jobs that they do create have to pay the average wage of $137,000, so that's.
Be what types of jobs? I guess I'm asking.
Answer that. So
Come on up to the
Come
mic.
to the podium.
So associated with the construction period, there'll be about 500 to 600 construction period jobs, and then 15 full-time employees for the operating period. Those jobs are operations and maintenance, so power plant operators, instrument techs, electrical technicians, along with, a management staff to support that. So those are the type of roles that'll be FTEs based at that location in Bastrop County. And we're working on recruiting and incentive programs to try to find as many of those jobs local here as we possibly can.
Sorry, go ahead, Josh, go ahead.
I beat you. You beat me on everything else. I beat her on this. So from Lee County all the way to energy, or to Bastrop County, correct? Is there going to be any points during that run, 30 miles or around that there will be other additional peakers that'll come up throughout, or is it right at that location?
Yeah, there's enough capacity for additional power plants, and I know there's plenty of development going on in the county, and others who have approached us about gas that we're talking to, and so yes, the answer is there's opportunity for others to connect to that pipeline as well.
Okay.
My question was regarding the school board vote. So it's 30 days. I am reading here from when the state actually approves the agreement, correct? And then, so there is a public hearing, I'm also reading, that's required. So is that public hearing within the 30 days or at the time we?
At the time, there'll be a public hearing at that same meeting is when the board would take action.
And I just want to clarify something you said earlier. The agreement is between the company, the state, and the district.
Yes.
All three entities have to agree.
There has to be approval from the district and the state. In the 313 program that existed, it was between the district and the company. The state didn't get involved. The Office of the Governor is now involved in this, so they're a party to the agreement.
And I don't know that this would happen. Obviously, we're not compelled to say yes to this as a board, but with this new arrangement that you're talking about with the state, then if the state approves and we said no, what's the?
If the district does not approve the application, it's dead.
Okay, gotcha. I'm just curious.
Finance degree, but I am an elected official as a steward of the taxpayers' monies and properties and land and things like that. So what's the advantage, if I understand this, I may understand it wrong, what's the advantage of us giving up 50% of the M&O? Because that's, tonight, we just had to go into fund balance for 1.6, and next year we're gonna be at a $6 million deficit on a budget with enrollment and the way the state's funded schools. So I'm asking, why would we vote to give something up?
It's to incentivize the project to make it competitive and have it show up in Bastrop instead of Chicago or Illinois or Georgia. That's basically what's at stake here. It's got to be the most competitive site. Each one of those other sites has got pluses and minuses. So we're just trying to make this as competitive as possible. If we don't do this and the project can't find or doesn't select Bastrop, then the school district doesn't get anything. So
Now we got 50% of nothing. So
what's that?
Right now, we're getting 50% of nothing.
Well, there's nothing right now, but there could be 50% of
Then we
something.
are getting 50, okay.
Right.
Just got to explain it to the folks that are watching TV tonight.
Absolutely.
That are on the street and the public
Absolutely.
hearing.
Yeah,
Yes, Mike.
I was going to say, Mike, let me ask you, because this has to do with the state funding, and even though we might collect this $8.9 million, that just means we might get less from the state because of the state formula. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think we're really on the M&O side.
Right.
You know,
On the-
only on the
yes,
M&O
yes.
side, we're basically held harmless. It's like that other half of the value's lost. I mean, the tax break that they get comes out of the state's coffers.
Right, but
So we're, M&O is neutral.
but if we
On an
collect,
approved
let's
jetty.
say if we collect that 8.9,
Yeah.
that means the state does not have to give us, because
Yeah.
of the, I'm looking at the cup,
Yeah,
and we get this much from property taxes, which they
Yeah,
would
what they
get
do
it.
pay is settled up with the state, and what they don't pay is settled up with the state.
Right,
It all
right.
comes out in the wash, holding everything else home, constant.
Right, I just
Um,
don't
it
want
only-
to have the public realize that they're going to get this 8.9, that the district gets this.
No, it's not a
Yeah.
windfall either. It's
Yeah.
not a penalty or a windfall. Again, it's neutral. The increase in the tax base for any entity does help build schools, and fund debt. So, so that's a positive. That's the only financial impact that I see.
It's absolutely a positive impact on our INS.
Yeah, I
Right.
think it's a positive impact on the INS.
I don't know how much of when the state funding formula gins out, if the value goes up, the state funding's gonna come down some. I don't know what that dollar looks like, and that's a question that Mike would have to.
Well, it's always to the state's advantage.
Exactly. Well, I spent 19 years on the school board, and trust me, I know how all that impacts you all. When you were questioned earlier about unfunded mandates, I was listening to that going, oh, yeah, I remember those. So, but the INS piece of it is really the huge piece of it, so.
Yeah, no, I have another one, because we were talking about this, I think, either at the workshop or at the previous meeting. We might do, okay, I forget what the terminology is, but the golden pennies. Now, this could be, yeah, this could be to our advantage if we if we decide in favor of this, that we could somehow, because I was reading it and it said that we could utilize the golden pennies, and that, because of this project coming through, would really help us. Because that, the state does not, they can't recapture that.
They don't. Currently 5 of those pennies flow through unaffected at all. So we generate about, I think about 360,000 per penny, right? So the first part of your question, I agreed with, I think, if I had it right. To the extent that our tax base grows, those pennies, whether they're 5 pennies now, or they go to 8, or whatever the board decides, as our tax base grows, the proportional taxes would go up a little. It's not a significant amount. Now, if values went up a lot, then, you start talking 10% of, 5 pennies at 3, it's something. But the second part, which now I don't recall, I think you said substantially helps us or something like that.
If we were to vote for to actually go out and hold an election to get the additional 3 pennies, but even if we don't, we would still get the 5 pennies.
Yeah, I think you just said significantly helps us or something like that.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify, it's moving in the right direction. It is additional funding. Without calculating, I don't know that it's, significant in the millions or anything like that. But again, as our tax base grows, it helps the INS fund debt, and the golden pennies, yeah, sure, to a smaller extent, because that's only 8 pennies, 5 or 8 pennies of, 66 pennies. So
Right, but
that's-
the state, that's not, it's not recaptured.
Right, it's not recaptured or in any way adjusted. It does
it's-
flow through.
and it's there
it
for-
is, I
yeah.
consider it gravy, it's a
Yeah,
little
right.
extra funding.
Right,
I'll take that,
yep, same here.
yeah.
And
So-
the property right now that they're talking about, there's nothing on it.
I don't know what it's taxed at now. I don't know if they've shared the site details, but if it's farmland for, or ag exempt or something,
Yeah.
it's going to pale in comparison to 300+ million, I think you said.
Yeah.
So, of course, that would be the tax year that it rolls on, so you're talking tax year 28 at the earliest. So, at that point, it would, if it was ag exempt, they would roll back a little, they'd go back and make some adjustments. But be significant.
Yeah.
And these kinds of projects in general are the kind of growth that that you look for.
Yeah.
As opposed to all rooftops, which, you have to build schools and do those things. So,
Thank you.
Any other board members have any questions?
So how we leave it, we're going to wait
We wait on the comptroller to.
Yeah.
to do it. Okay.
The state has to certify the
State has to
application
certify the
and then
application. This was an
notify us
informational-
officially.
We're on hold until the state does
So
something now.
at that time, let's say you get something back from the state, will you come back, are they coming back to, or we're
Yes.
just getting the notification?
Yeah, we'll have to. We'll
Okay.
have to have a public hearing, and then the board
You
has to
just-
take
okay.
official
We'll be
action.
back.
Just with more detail, that's what I'm
Yes,
saying. Okay.
absolutely. Appreciate
you.
y'all's time tonight. Thank you very much. And if there are any other questions, Dr. Lee, please feel free to reach out. Take care.
Next on our agenda is our communications report and our curriculum and instruction report, which are for information only. Are there any questions about either of those reports?
Yes, Mr. President, I do have a couple of questions. I'd like to, I guess, with the, part of this was the Virtual Learning Academy advertising. It seems like there was a good response to that. Are we going to be as ready as can be for the virtual? Are we at the 200 mark? Was it 200 that we were going to enroll?
With an update at the end of this week. We still have some trickling in here and there, and we're working through that, but we are going to be as ready as we can be. Yeah.
That's great. I look forward to hearing more about that. And it's interesting how you were saying that the advertisements, just the wording can either draw them in or just be shopping. So,
Yes, ma'am. As we've begun to market this, this is a bit of a new day for school districts, right? Because we have to market a product in a way that we didn't have to do in previous iterations of the schools. And so we're doing some A/B testing. I don't want to overstate it. We've run a few ads in that way. We have a limited budget. Most of these have been online social media ads, but paid in that way. And so those statistics that you see in my report are alluding to that. And to your point, yes, we're finding that the imagery around UIL activities and fine arts activities is far more compelling than the imagery around just online students in that way.
Yeah.
And it also more compelling, as you can see in there, to certain demographics, specifically the younger parent demographic, that may be the target audience for this.
no, that was interesting. And then I guess for the curriculum and instruction, can you, part of that, you mentioned in here that the district collaborated with the Effective School Framework Support Grant Partner, TNTP. Again, I did a little research on that. In layman's terms, what benefit does the district get? I got to the website and it sounded like there was a lot of research.
There is a lot of research. The New Teacher Project has been a partner with us for many years, definitely helped with the implementation of our curriculum 3 years ago. And our partnership adapts each year. This year has been focused on leadership, especially at campuses that are not performing where we want them to yet. We targeted there. In the upcoming year, they're going to be working on helping us strengthen our teacher planning time and the feedback that we're giving teachers as we move forward. So they're just partners. They're another set of eyes that come in. They work with districts across the state, and so it helps us to bring in ideas and to refine our practices as we move forward.
There was a survey, I think, a while back, tracking teachers' time in the classroom and then preparing lessons and then what they do afterwards. When does the data come in on that?
I'll let you speak to that one.
Mike.
Wendy is actually back here and could probably give us a little bit more information.
I'm just kind of thinking this could all tie into, the leadership and better everything.
Third, our teacher time audit
leadership went to San Antonio to meet with other districts that are involved in this, and so we heard 15 different presentations with data, and interestingly enough, a lot of the data was the same coming across multiple districts. And so right now we're in the process of completing our needs assessment. Our team is meeting tomorrow to complete our need assessments and talk about root causes from our data. And then we'll be coming together to create an action plan that we'll be able to implement in pilot programs in the fall semester.
What were some of the stuff that was the same across the board? I mean, I
So
could only
teachers not
imagine.
having enough time for planning, and so, and just the amount of requirements given to us from the state level, from the district, from campuses, and just kind of putting it all together. And so the question that I had for TA that was represented there was, you know, we're making changes on our district level and our campus level. Does this data go to TA with the trends that they're seeing across the state? And they said, yes, these are all things that they bring back when they're looking at creating legislative and looking at different policies and updates for the Texas Education Code.
Interesting,
Yeah.
so perhaps a positive,
Yes.
positive outcome.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
All
thank
right,
you.
Thank you.
Go next one.
Next one, here we go. Next on our agenda is our Facilities and Support Services Report with our Child Nutrition Update. Our presenter is Rachel Telepour, our Director of Child Nutrition.
Good evening, school board members and Dr. Lee. Thank you for the opportunity to share this update with you. Every school day, the Bastrop ISD Child Nutrition Department serves between 13,000 and 14,000 meals to students across the district. That number encompasses breakfast, lunch, and supper, all at no cost to our students. Behind every meal, we have a dedicated team of child nutrition managers, assistant managers, and an amazing administrative team that helps support this very intricate operation. This year, we've really, as we came out of food service management into self-operating mode, one of the things that child nutrition focused on was training our staff adequately enough to pass audits, that helps us keep our funding, ensuring that we had menus that were compliant and that were appealing to students, and just making sure that, ensuring that we had the flexibility to change as needed to serve the district the best that child nutrition could. In the self-operating model, we focused on student wellness, not only food quality, but also meals that were nutritious, and teaching students what a nutritious meal was. I think that was part of what is at times lacking with food service management. We worked on operational excellence. We continued to work on compliance, standardized recipes. Moving from food service management to child nutrition, to in-house, we had to start from the bottom up with recipes and all the training that goes into ensuring that our staff of 110 plus employees are ready for audits, while remaining fiscally responsible, and ensuring that our staff is trained up. And one of the ways that we did that was by meeting weekly with our managers. They weren't always thrilled about that. Once a week, we got together virtually. We shared wins and growths. We were able to communicate any changes, any district needs to them in real time weekly. Before, they were meeting once a month, every 2 months, so we moved that to weekly. We also wanted to recognize the teamwork, the innovation, and the customer service that they provide to our students each day. We did, for an hour, we focused on, we highlighted kitchens, we shared tips and tricks of the trade. We also were able to share some of this data with the district, the principals at the campuses. This ensured that not only did our staff feel like they were included in into the district and that they weren't just working for a vendor, It also allowed us to prepare them for our upcoming audit, which we have this coming school year. We continue to work on culinary innovation, bringing students in to the kitchen, hosting events like Kids in the Kitchen, Taste the Rainbow, where we engage with students, with campuses, with campus leadership, creating a positive dining experience, just reminding students that child nutrition and school food doesn't have to be boring, removing that stigma that school food is bland, and just trying to get that participation. Because we are CEP, we're looking for complete participation. When we ended the school year, we were at a 37% participation for breakfast, which we're working on, and at about a 78 to 80% participation for lunch. There's just some fun pictures of students in the kitchen at this event. They were baking, like they did a non-bake power ball, and they got to take it home and take home the recipe with them to share with their families. Here are kids again with Chef Courtney and our dietitian Alia, and again, just a fun event called Kids in the Kitchen that we host. We were not able to host it at the beginning of the first semester because we were in a transition period, but the second half of the second semester, we did focus on a lot of the fun events. We did want to engage students at the junior high and high school level. The way we did that was by introducing new recipes. Since students don't have the ability to carry their phones around, we did taste testings where we had them fill out forms at the school and just get their input on what they were, and talking to the students at these events, asking them what they were looking for. Here we did a Frito pie tasting. Bastrop ISD Child Nutrition has a good amount of commodities that we receive from the USDA. We were sitting on a large, many pounds of ground beef. How do we use that? We came up with a Frito pie recipe, a homemade Frito pie. So the students tasted that, it made the cut, we added it to the menu. I'm proud to say we will serve that next school year as well. Yes, that's just some fun pictures. Another part of the child nutrition department that I'm really passionate about is growing our culinary skills with our staff. That if we are looking to do more scratch cooking and not pre-cooked meals, we have to teach our employees to have more innovative thought, to have more culinary ideas. So we applied for a Texas Department of Agriculture grant, and over spring break, we sent 3 of our employees, of our staff members, to participate in a farm-to-school event at the Culinary Institute of America. They were there for a week in San Antonio. They came back with ideas for recipes for vegetables. Just vegetables is really a difficult thing to sell to kids, even if it's free. So this really helped, gave us great ideas, and just a lot of fun ways to introduce vegetables, legumes, beans. And also the staff received updates of Child Nutrition National School Lunch Program. Any changes to the program that are coming, they were able to hear them firsthand and then come back and share with us. We were able to send 3 of our staff members. In the middle there is our training supervisor, Emily Brown. She really led that team and ensured that they came back with all of the fun ideas, and that we implemented some of those in our menus. Again, here are some of the fruits and vegetables that they cooked, legumes, and all of that was taught through TDA, ensuring that we stay compliant with our menus. One of the greatest challenges, maybe not challenges, one of the greatest challenges that I saw with our department was just integrating them and making sure that they all felt included. Bastrop ISD was part of a food service management, was serviced by food service management for over 10 years, creating a culture of inclusivity, of just working with different departments, from the athletic department to the special education department to the bilingual department, just working with them, with the leaders, bringing that, the focus on Bastrop, child nutrition as a part of Bastrop and not just a vendor was very instrumental for us to just collaborate across the district and ensure that our staff felt like they were part of BISD and not just, again, a vendor. We've also really focused on an amazing building a team of catering that, as you see, has been serving the district throughout the school year with a lot of fun, innovative foods, and just instead of having our people go out and buy food, we are providing that service to them through our child nutrition department. And all of those funds help our department with fun events for our staff. Looking ahead, we are looking to hire an additional field manager. Currently, we only have one that, and with all of us that go out and ensures that we're compliant, that our food that we have good food quality, that our staff feels supported. So this coming year, we will hire another food field supervisor. We also are looking to add an equipment technician that will help us with all of the equipment in our kitchens. Currently, we have an outside vendor that comes and to remain fiscally responsible, adding that position will really help us to eliminate any non-necessary calls when we have somebody that is responsive immediately. We want to continue to modernize our kitchens, replacing aging equipment. Over the last few months, we've been working with Cedar Creek High School for a renovation and an update to the cafeteria. That cafeteria hasn't been touched since it was built, since the school was built. We will also update the serving line there, hoping to raise participation. Cedar Creek High School has over 2,000 students enrolled, and we have about 1,100 students that participate in the lunch program. We're hoping to raise that with with an improved kitchen and just a more welcoming cafeteria. Long-term, we are looking to, as the district grows, we are also looking to grow our department, not only with staff and ensuring that every student gets a nutritious meal, but also exploring long-term cold storage. That's a little boring, I know, but it's like so necessary because we get so many commodities and we pay a fee out for these commodities to be delivered. If we had a cold storage, we could save on that and use those funds to further improve our menus and ensure that that our students are just participating in our program and that they have all the motivation to come and eat in our kitchens. And I just want to thank our team. Every day we have, like I said, over 110 employees that feed meals to students, that smile at them every day, that serve breakfast and lunch and suppers, and that ensure that we stay compliant. I just want to thank everybody. First of all, thank the district for allowing us to be part of the family, and our team that continues to grow and work hard and ensure that our students are fed. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions from the board? I see nodding heads.
Josh?
I don't have a question. I don't have a question. But I will be more than happy to participate in any food tastings. Yes, cheesecake. Yeah, that looked really good and great to hear. Let me know.
Absolutely.
So positive, like everything you just shared, I'm so excited about. Because I love food, because culturally it's just a thing with Hispanic people. So more food pictures would be great, like all over communication.
Okay.
I did have one quick question. When you talked about 37% of our kids participating in breakfast and how you did mention you guys are working on that. And there's one actually specific question that I have regarding bus routes and getting to our elementary schools on time. So I want to make sure that number one is not a problem for you and our principals. And then secondly, like, just for you to give me a couple of things about why you think this number is so low.
Sure. We do partner with principals across the district. We do have a second chance breakfast where students are allowed to come and pick up a breakfast. That's really at the discretion of the principal how that looks. We don't deny meals to anybody. I do understand that there are restrictions and time, frames that teachers and principals must adhere to, but we always have a second chance breakfast. What we started doing at some of our middle schools was doing a breakfast cart where we had kind of grab and go breakfast, and the middle school principals were very welcoming to that. I think that breakfast is just hard because sometimes the breakfast time is a little early for students. For the middle schools and high schools, I've explored this with the principals. Students just don't want to come through the line. They're embarrassed, which is why we started doing the breakfast carts. Where we see the highest participation is in elementary. Having said that, we compared numbers from last year to this year, and breakfast is up compared to last year. But it's a struggle for all child nutrition departments throughout, in other districts as well. These are conversations that we all have when we get together at conferences or we have meetings through Region 13. That is a big struggle for breakfast, especially at the middle school and high school. We're really working to innovate menus, to have more fun ideas. We do everything we can to make it, we put out the high schools were doing a taco bar every day. Every day they could come and build their tacos during the school year. For elementary students, we were doing yogurt parfaits and just trying to ensure that students are receiving meals, because we know that a hungry student doesn't learn. So that was really the focus of our team this year.
Okay, and then the second part of my question is, you mentioned waste reduction, and so then that got me to thinking, like, how much food is being wasted, and what is the recycle potential for some of these items?
Sure. We teach our staff to cook in batches so that there's not a lot of waste.
Okay.
They always prep the day before. They cook as needed. There are times when they are not able to do that, but they, on their production records, that is a state record that we keep, they document their waste. And anytime there's over 20 entrees that are wasted, they document why, and then we go in and kind of do some problem solving with them to reduce waste. Years prior, when I looked back at some of the records, food waste was a big issue, and it is a big issue in child nutrition. But we've really worked hard to teach our staff to be responsible with their resources, to only put out what is needed. And we also keep historical data of items that are menu items that are popular and those that are not. So we kind of use that as a guide for waste.
And then the last thing is, because I do think cold storage is a riveting topic.
I do as well, but I know not everybody does.
And you mentioned centralized solutions. What do you mean by that? Is it possible that we could use like a location that we have in the district to hold
Yes,
cold
we
storage?
have, Mr. Raspberry and I have discussed putting in a large freezer, outdoor freezer, who would receive all of our commodities, and then in the next school year, looking at adding a delivery person who would go out and deliver to our schools instead of having the schools receive the commodity. There are times that some of our schools that have small freezers receive up to 150 boxes, and they're just scrambling where to put it, but we have to take the product in. Having a freezer, a centralized freezer, would really help that situation and allow us to, unfortunately, this year we had to donate over 5,000 boxes of food that we had received because we had nowhere to put it. That food had been ordered the previous year with the food service management company, and it was items that were not fitting into the menu, so we donated that. If we had a freezer, we could have saved that or stored that, but we were able to donate it to schools that needed it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, you're so
All
welcome.
very good information.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
Going down.
Oh, so sorry. Yes,
That's
Ms.
quite
Carroll.
all right. I do want to commend you for thinking outside the box and trying to get students more interested in the food and the preparation and such as that. I did notice that you did recently pass a CACFC, some type of audit.
Yes.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I know there's a hard work, and I was talking to a couple of your folks back there, and my question is, does each campus, because they do have a kitchen, each campus prepares their own, prepares the food, you've got the menu, but they prepare it on site, is that correct?
Each campus prepares on site. We have a centralized menu for elementary, middle school, and high school. We have a dietitian on our staff that helps us ensure that we stay compliant. That's probably the biggest task that we have right now, is ensuring that our kitchens are compliant. That keeps our funding intact. Yes, every kitchen cooks at every site. We all are out there, our field staff, our administrative staff is out there making sure that the staff feel supported, the kitchen managers, assistant managers, kitchen workers feel supported, and that they are able to just provide the best food that they can. I will say that some of our kitchen workers have been here for over 20 years, and they have so much heart. They care so much about not only the preparation of the meal and ensuring that every student feels welcome, but that our lines are decorated and that students want to come in and feel welcomed.
Are the employees that have been there for a while, and of course now they've seen this, very dramatic change, do they look at it positively or negative? Change is never good sometimes.
I think in the
Are they getting
beginning it
used
was
to
a
it?
little difficult, but they have seen the progress. They've seen the consistency and how it keeps us compliant. They like the structure of what we are doing in our department, and we've had a lot of happy employees, I think. Just last week, we took them 17 kitchen managers and assistant managers to Region 13. That was to fulfill their continuing education hours that they must have through the state. Some of those kitchen managers hadn't been to a Region 13 training in over 10 years, and some of them had never been. So they were able to do their continuing education. They were able to feel like part of the team, and I had one kitchen manager that came up to me and said, all of our kitchen staff needs to go to a Region 13 training, because it's different hearing it from the director, from our staff, but hearing it from Region 13 and TDA saying, these are our guidelines, and this is why we do what we do. It was really impactful for the team.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Just one more thing. What you're doing for the children's great. Can you share with us what you're doing for the staff on their break when they drop the children off at the cafeteria? Are we providing any options for the staff for lunch, or?
Our staff all gets a free breakfast and lunch.
Okay.
So they are able to, we always encourage them to taste the food. They taste the food, they ensure that the food is, that we have all of our staff taste the food. I'm like, you have to taste what we're serving.
Yes,
Oh,
during their
teachers,
break,
yeah.
like when they
Oh,
go
I
to their
apologize.
break room.
Oh, okay.
So while the kids are eating lunch.
Sure.
Right.
I apologize. At Mina Elementary, we have a salad bar for the service center. They're able to go and purchase a salad bar. We were doing a monthly, limited time offer where our catering chef, Courtney, put out a meal for the staff there. We started to do it quite frequently and then kind of dropped off because of the work that we have out in the field. We were doing that twice a month. And the teachers eat in our kitchens. They purchase the food. I've had teachers tell me that the food is better than it's ever been, and that's a great compliment. So we do have teachers that purchase meals and eat the food that we serve to the students.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to say the spread that you guys had before, I wish I was here earlier because I was trying to eat everything before I came in the last minute. And then the other thing is my son is helping that percentage because he eats breakfast at home and then goes to school and eats breakfast at school.
Okay,
So
that's
he's-
perfectly okay.
so- Anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Betty. Next on our agenda is our Human Resources Report, which is for information only. Are there any questions on the Human Resources Report?
I don't have, I apologize. I do have something on the career. I think that's going to be your curriculum, and I just was seeing my note, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
And it's more just a shout out because I'm really, I really enjoy it when when young ladies are exposed to different things that are typically, and this is gonna sound stereotypical, that are male-dominated. And you know what I'm talking about, because I would love to hear more, maybe later, not now, but maybe later, because you did have this Women Building American Construction Camp from a person who enjoys working with my hands. Now, from the brain to the hand doesn't come out like I imagine it, but it really was, it was nice to see, and I went online again and I saw a couple, I think it was Facebook or something, but they seemed that they were interested, they were engaged, and it is, again, it is so nice to see young women taking on different careers. In fact, yesterday on a sidebar, I saw a lady who was operating a tow truck. Okay, this is great, and I've not seen one being a truck driver, but I'm sure they're out there. And I just, again, commend you for that. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Next, we'll move on to our police and safety security report, our intruder detection audit for Cedar Creek High School. Our presenter is Chief of Police Scott Munch.
Dylan, thank you so much. First, just real quick, Carol, as far as the officer pay, we are absolutely competitive. And I want to give a shout out to y'all in the process. We just hired a new officer. Another ISD was looking to hire him, and I said, I will never badmouth or discuss another ISD. I won't. But what I will ask for you to do is talk to their employees. He called me back the next day and he said, I'm going to come to work for you. And it's not for me, it's because of y'all. Y'all provide an environment that is welcoming to these officers. And we had this discussion the other day. We cannot thank y'all as a group for what y'all do for us each and every day and what y'all do for the staff. So thank y'all. And shout out as she walks out the door, Child Nutrition. I just had the law enforcement leadership luncheon. We meet every 2 months. The law enforcement leaders in the community, Smithville, the sheriff, the Bastrop PD, Elgin PD. We meet with the constables, and we meet as a group, and we have lunch. And we typically go somewhere. Well, I wanted to show off my new facility, and so we didn't go anywhere. We stayed home, and I had Child Nutrition serve. And they could not be more thankful for that food that we had there, that we go out to eat somewhere else, and they were so impressed with what our Child Nutrition fed them. And so, again, that's kudos to Child Nutrition. But discussion of the intruder detection audit that was done at Cedar Creek High School. We had a couple failures of intruder detection audits this year, and they both fall on my shoulders. That's my fault. There was one at an elementary school where a door was not secured at the service center into that school. I own that. At Cedar Creek High School, what we had is we fenced off the exterior back of the parking lot around the portables. And in doing so, I told Casey Stagman, the principal, that she could leave those exterior doors unlocked. For the students that are transitioning between the portables and the school, they can leave those unlocked. However, the state changed the definition of what they consider an exterior secured area, and they no longer list that as an exterior secured area. They call it a perimeter fencing. And so therefore, because Casey followed my directive, they failed that audit. They had an exterior door that was unlocked, and the intruder could come in that door. And so we've made steps to improve that process. That won't happen again. We've set things in place, and again, Casey's addressed it with the faculty at her place. I've addressed it with the district vulnerability assessment person from the TEA, Manuel Jimenez, and Ethan Schindler and I have got together and formulated a plan where we're going to fix that system. And so, again, the audit falls squarely on my shoulders. She did exactly as she was instructed to do. Anybody have any questions?
In here, there was a campus safety security survey. What's the climate from these campuses? I know we all understand and agree the importance of safety and security, but sometimes it's a pain. But have you seen a change in the culture as far as saying, okay, yes, it's a pain to always keep it locked, but we agree, so the attitude is changing.
Absolutely. So you have to understand that, again, the hardest job that I know of is being a principal of a school. They are their babies. They want to keep their babies safe. They want that more than anything that you can imagine. That is what they live for. And so they take ownership of that building, they take ownership of the kids, they take ownership of the safety of it. And so Ethan's also stepping up his culture as far as safety goes. He's wanting to get student buy-in as far as how they see safety and how get them on board as far as it goes. But as far as administrators go, you're not going to find any people more diligent and trying to keep their kids safe than that group of people.
And I want to say thank you for starting the fence at Red Rock Elementary.
That is over here, that's
Thank you.
Lee Raspberry is starting all that. Again, we want to keep people safe, and the best way we can do that is make them feel safe. Again, what I tell our officers is always be present, be visible and approachable. And again, barriers help with keeping people as that feeling of safety. Anything else?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Moving on to our consent agenda. Would any board member like to pull any of the consent agenda items for discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to our action items, we're going to consider approval of our memorandum of understanding between the Lower Colorado River Authority, LCRA, and Bastrop ISD. Our presenter is Chief of Police Scott Bunch. One more time.
Yes. Again, Dr. Mix, last time we had a meeting and we were looking at approving the Lost Pines with the Boy Scout camp, we automatically assumed we're going to help because that's who we are. That's what we do as a district. We help. However, the state doesn't say that's okay anymore. The state says when you do this, you have to have MOUs in place. And that's the reason why we had it with the Boy Scouts. This MOU is in place with the LCRA, McKinney Ruffs, as they do summer camps. They need a place where they can reunify. We're going to provide Cedar Creek High School as that place for them to reunify, as long as you approve that process. Again, it's just those partnerships that we have with each other, and it's making ourselves available to them. And they've set out the dates that they would do this. It's only during the summer. It's only during the regular hours. They're not looking to take over the building. They're not looking to do any of that. They're just looking for help in case the need arises, and we're going to be that resource for them. Any questions?
I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Lower Colorado River Authority, LCRA, and Bastrop ISD as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to our information items, there's a board calendar of events, enrollment, and our 26-27 school board meeting dates, which are all for information only, which brings us to our closed session. And the time is now 7:28, and the board will now convene in a closed meeting session to discuss the following items as allowed by the Texas Government Code 551.071, attorney consultation, and 551.074, personnel matters. No voting will take place in the closed meeting. Any action the board wishes to take as a result of discussions in the closed session will take place after the board reconvenes in open meeting. 58, and the board will now reconvene in open session. There will be no action from closed session. Please note that there will be no regular board meeting in July. However, there will be a workshop for training and evaluation. Regularly scheduled board meetings will resume in August. Has any board member anything to bring before the board before closing?
I'm just really happy that I don't have to sign anything.
Duly noted. If no further business, we are adjourned.